Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Dr. Dabber Switch. Dab of the day with diamonds. Hello, everybody. Today is Sunday. I brought out the big gun today. This is the first device that I had. Mrs. Stoner got this me. My birthday. I want to say 3 years ago. September, 3 years ago. Hello, everybody. As always, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Let's get started on ways to get through tough times. I live it, I'm sharing it. I'm having tough times. How do we get through? First, you got to understand and you got to get feedback. In other words, you got to understand what's happening. You need to get a lay of the land. And you have to see past the hardship. You see, when you're in crisis, it's hard to see the upside, whether it's pain or another crisis in your life. But if you can put some distance, you might be able to see the situation in a different light. For example, let's say it's a job loss, God forbid. You know what? You probably lost a job in the past and always landed on your feet. You had a fight with your loved one. Well, historically, you bounced back. You had a panic attack. Well, guess what? Most of the things you were worrying about weren't even real. And you know what? Some of those things I just described are going to lead you to getting help, which is even better. But what you need to remember during tough times, just like they tell you when the stewardesses, flight attendants are making their announcement about safety. If there's a problem in the airplane and the oxygen mask drop, make sure you put yours on before your child. You must prioritize you. You must have self-care immediately. It's absolutely necessary to survive and flourish in tough situations. You won't be of any help to other people if you're incapacitated. Healthy habits. You've got to find a way to take care of yourself, whether it's a nutritious meal or a protein bar in your car, whether it's going to the gym for an hour or a walk around the block. You've got to relieve physical and emotional tension. You've got to find a way to reboot your mind and your body. Now, we have to find a way to find a level head in our brains and categorize what's happening. You have to determine if what you're experiencing in the horrible situation, bad time, is a catastrophe or just an inconvenience. You see, I'm hardwired to walk into the room, the dark room, and cover up waiting for somebody to hit me. Most people are hardwired to walk into that room. Where's the pot of gold? So, sometimes we can magnify problems, turning a fixable solution into a calamity. So what we need to think about is we have to remember the key to coping with difficult situations in life. Anything can be fixed by money. Guess what? It's not a problem then. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the rule you need to live by. If it can be fixed by money, it's not a catastrophe. Even if you don't have money, because you can find money, okay? You've got to find a way to practice acceptance in tough times. That's right. You've got to find a way to accept what's happened, accept what's happening, and stop worrying about it. You've got to visualize yourself handling the problem. You see, your words, your actions, your decisions are you. So what if we can't solve the problem? Ask for help. Maybe you assume that you can, and that the situation, even though it's difficult, will mend on its own. Many people do. But oftentimes, we need to relinquish control. It's all about wanting to do it ourselves and receive help with grace. You see, when asking for help, you may need to be direct. You may need to let others know what you need. Support and compassion. Seeking support from a loved one will strengthen your relationship. You'll be there for one another, visually, verbally, and in times of stress. Normally, we would have been neglected, but because you've sought out support, your support system will be there for you. It's a wonderful thing when support comes in the form of family, or friends, or coworkers, or a doctor you know, or a therapist you're familiar with, because they are a higher power. They can help you think about things you wouldn't think about yourself. You also got to remember, to get through tough times, you've got to limit the exposure to tough people. By that, I'm talking about toxic people. Individuals who are not supportive or reliable. You know who I'm talking about in your lives. They don't have your best interests at heart. They don't listen to you and might even be critical, judgmental, or demanding, even in a hardship situation. And after being with these types of people, you feel drained and depleted. In other words, they make you feel worse. Limit your time with those types of people. And remember to stay grounded in the present. Practice mindfulness, the deep breathing, meditation type thing. It's excellent for the mind and body when it's going through crisis. And then find a way to call an end to the crisis. You see, far too often we let the crisis define our lives and mindsets for way too long a time. We burn out, become anxious, depressed, and have less energy. And focus to find effective solutions isn't there. Calling an end to the crisis helps you shift to a calmer gear and a more solution-focused state of mind. So what'll happen is one day, one moment, you'll agree that now you've got to deal with it. That's right. Now you've got the power and the ability to deal with it, and you're out of crisis. Maybe we look at it as an observer from outside of the situation. Take a crisis break, so to speak, in which we relax and observe the situation as if we were an outsider, hearing about the circumstances from a friend or maybe a coworker. Take some deep breaths, focus on your intuition, and guess what? You're very likely to derive some useful thoughts you wouldn't have come up with in the midst of your anxious state. Take that bird's eye view. And sometimes you just have to take action. If you don't know what to do something. Make a list, make some phone calls, gather information. Avoiding a situation only adds to your anxiety and what ifs. Taking action is empowering, even if you make a mistake along the way. And remember that you are not your difficult time. You are not your problems or your crisis. You're not the divorce, the illness, or the trauma, or the loss of your job. Yourself, your true self, is the deeper entity within that's perfectly whole still. And no matter what you're experiencing, will continue to identify you as you. And you need to remember that everyone heals at a different pace and in a different way. Whether you're a child or an adult, you got to remember that the journey is different for everyone, and there should be no clock watching. Everyone feels in different ways, and everyone heals in different ways. Tough times can feel incredibly overwhelming and exhausting, but there are many things you can do to soften that blow. Plus, even if you're not in crisis but have issues to work through, you can seek professional help in the world today, even on an app. Remember, it's best to fix the roof when the sun is shining. Dealing with our issues, whether they're childhood, relational issues, or anything else, when we're in periods of calm, the best investment we could make is a little effort to help ourselves minimize those situations. Hardships are opportunities for growth and learning. They deepen our understandings of ourselves, others, and the world around us. Hidden blessings, believe it or not, come out of every hardship. They bring you strength. They bring you wisdom. They teach us empathy and openness. It's amazing how, when you have to get through something tough, the things you will do to help you or your loved ones. It's just incredible. Here we go. We're turning on our Dr. Dabber switch to the oil. Gonna drop a diamond dab in and send us on our way today. And I do want to thank everybody for joining me today. It's a pleasure talking to you all about how do we take lemons and make lemonade out of it. How do you have that bad situation happen and get through the other side? Well, I hope I helped. That's my goal here today. Here we go. As always, you guys know what to do if you like the video. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody, today. It's been a pleasure talking about how we can essentially reverse trauma in our lives. Cheers, and have a great day. Dr. Dabber's switch, can you imagine? Still cooking after 3 years. Very smooth. Have a great day, everybody. And thanks for joining me today. Cheers.